Yes, greetings, blessings, people. We're here live and direct right here on the Big Bad Station, arrowrockradio.com, with yours truly, DJ Kat, the Kat-a-lyst, and I am truly blessed to be introducing a great artist. He goes by the name of Zale. So, of course, King, are you there? You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, okay. Broke up for a second.
No problem. So, of course, let the people know who you are and a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, man, greetings, everybody. My name is Zale. Recording artist, producer, instrumentalist from Kingston, Jamaica. Just make music, make good vibes, tell stories. That's pretty much it.
Nice and easy, yeah?
Yeah.
I hear that. But you know what? When I've heard your tunes and your music that you're putting together, they're not exactly a traditional mix of reggae, right?
Right.
So where's that come from, and kind of why have you gone down that vibe?
Yeah, I draw influences from a lot of different places, a lot of different artists, a lot of different genres.
Yeah.
I kind of think of myself as genre-less. I'm not strictly reggae or dancehall. I'm not any particular thing. I just kind of mix, fuse together different types of music that I like.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I grew up in Kingston, Jamaica. Grew up listening to a lot of reggae, a lot of dancehall, but also a lot of R&B, a lot of hip hop, a lot of kind of oldies, soul music or funk, even blues and jazz. So
yeah,
I try to fuse in all of those different elements into my music, and more recently I've been experimenting with some Afrobeat sounds and stuff like that. So yeah, you hear all of those influences in the music that I make, and I experiment with different instruments and things like that. So that's kind of what you're hearing in the sound.
Yeah, I hear that. So how has that been taken by people in Jamaica, but across the world as well?
They like it. It seems to me they like it because it's different than the regular sound that they might be hearing, especially in Jamaica.
Yeah,
it's not. I don't think I sound like any artist out there right now. So yeah, I think people like a lot of the songs, and they like the kind of difference of it. It's a little different. Yeah.
I hear that.
And yeah.
So do you play instruments as well?
Yeah, I do. I play guitar mostly, but I'm dabbling in a lot of different instruments. I play guitar, piano, drums, percussions. I'm picking up saxophone right now, but I'm still new with that.
Okay.
I love instruments. I love learning different instruments and things like that. And yeah, I want to know that I produce all of my songs. So I make the music for all of the songs that you've heard so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Nice. So do you produce it in your studio, or do you do it at home? How do you kind of work it out?
Yeah, I have a home studio here at my house, so I produce most of the things there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that. So when it comes to your music now, how do you kind of work it? Do you freestyle it out, or do you write it down? How does it work for you when you're putting together what you need to put together?
Yeah, a bunch of different ways.
Okay.
It really depends. So a lot of the times I will start with the music. So I'll, sit with my guitar or sit at the computer and kind of compose something, make a beat, make some chords, make a rhythm, or something like that. And then once that's made, I'll kind of close my eyes, bob to it, see how it makes me feel, see what words come out. Sometimes I'll freestyle something. Sometimes I'll, sit with, the pen and paper and write it out. Or sometimes I'll just sit down and write without any music, and then I try to come up with music that fits the song that I'm going for. So I kind of attack it from many different angles. But writing is a thing that I love. So I love coming up with lyrics. I love that process. So yeah, I think in my music you'll hear that my lyrics are, I think them through. You know what I mean? So that's my thing.
I hear that. So, I mean, I get when I listen to your music and I hear what you're saying, I feel like your tunes are very therapeutic to you. So, are you
Yes.
going through something at that time and releasing?
Yeah, a lot of the times I make music, it's really to motivate me, to inspire me, it's kind of reflective of what's on my mind at the time.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I make music and it's for me to listen back to and feel, motivated and inspired. So yeah, you're right. You hit the nail on the head with that. It's kind of therapeutic. It's just reflective of a story of what I'm going through at the time. Definitely.
I hear that. And songs are kind of very vulnerable, especially any creative form. So do you like being vulnerable, or do you not mind it?
I don't mind it most of the times. I'm a pretty open person.
Okay.
I mean, of course, sometimes it's difficult, right? Sometimes it's difficult to really open up in that way and be vulnerable. It feels like you're exposed.
Yeah.
In a way. Especially, when like somebody who is close to me might hear the song and become, like,
yeah,
it's even more, when I know like someone listening who's close to me might hear this and stuff like that. But I feel like that's just part of it, because music and songs, it's expression, right? It's expression of what's inside, and so if I'm not vulnerable, it won't be as potent, it won't be real. So it's kind of necessary to be vulnerable in that way, because it helps me process the things as well. If I'm vulnerable, it helps me, navigate whatever it is that I'm feeling, and because of that, it might help somebody else to navigate that if they're feeling a similar thing.
Yeah.
So the vulnerability is kind of important. Of course, there's songs I write and don't release because probably I'm just not ready.
Yeah.
So those exist, but definitely it's part of the process.
I hear that 100%. And when it comes to the music, I mean, I know you mentioned there's loads of influences in your life, but who would you say is kind of, I don't know, top 5 that have influenced you?
Yeah, that's difficult. Top 5. So let me think. Top 5. I mean, definitely, I grew up listening to a lot of Damian Marley.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, I want to say Bob, but I'm kind of younger, so it's like I grew up in like the Damian Marley generation kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, I just grew up listening to Damian Marley. Let me think. Top 5. That's difficult. I want to say Michael Jackson was a big influence too.
Okay.
Growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was somebody I listened to a lot. I want to say, I don't know. Yeah, it was just a lot of different music. Damian Marley, Michael Jackson. I listened to a lot of Sean Paul as well growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, things like that. Let me go with those, because that's kind of what I remember from my childhood.
Yeah.
But honestly, it was just all different sorts of music.
Yeah.
And that kind of like fused together.
I hear that. So what was that spark moment? Was it you seen these guys and girls and thought, I want to do that, or was it a case of your natural talent just developed?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think, definitely when I was younger, I would, watch these music videos on TV and dance to them and like kind of glorify that life in a way.
Yeah.
Come home from school, turn on BET or something like that and listen to that. So definitely there was that inspiration I grew up with, and I always knew that I kind of was interested in that world of music, even though at the time I wasn't really playing music.
Yeah.
I would dabble, but I didn't really, wasn't able to afford lessons and stuff like that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But you know, whenever I saw an instrument, I would definitely try to play it. Like, I remember we had a family friend who had a piano at her house, and whenever I would go there, I would always gravitate to the piano and try to, you know, sound out little songs, simple songs, and try to play them by ear and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So growing up, there was always that influence, and I think it was until I reached high school where I really started to get into it, and that was because, like, I had friends, you know, around me that would play guitar and do a lot of stuff like that. So I would learn from them. My mom got me a guitar when I was a teenager. I learned from them. I started doing a little bit of lessons.
Yeah.
So that's where it really started to take off. I also forgot to mention John Mayer as an influence, because that was a big influence for me when I started playing guitar and learning music. So yeah, that's one.
I hear that. Well. Okay. Yeah, you got a very eclectic range. Very eclectic.
Yeah. That's true.
So, I mean, from hearing from my family out there in JA, they say there's a massive influence from the likes of America. Has America influenced you, would you say?
Yeah, I would say definitely. I mean, because as I mentioned, right, I would go home from school and I'd be listening to BET. You know, that's an American station. I would hear a lot of American music, Michael Jackson, that sort of thing. That was always a big influence musically, growing up in Jamaica as well. And actually, so I am in America right now. I'm in the US.
Okay.
Because I went to university in the US, so that was definitely a big that definitely started to shape, you know, the way I think and the way I grew musically here too. Because when I came here, I started playing in a band.
Yeah.
In school, and I got exposed to more genres too, kind of American genres. So yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
And you know, I'm sure yourself has heard of the different talks between, in particular, reggae. Obviously, yourself coming from Jamaica and then going to the USA, and they have things like Cali roots and all this sort of stuff. What's your thoughts about it? Do you like it? Do you not like it?
You know, to be honest, I don't listen that much to the Cali roots or the American style reggae. I don't have a problem with it at all, because I mean, music to me is to be shared. Music, you know, everybody gets influenced by music, and I'm proud that, like, when somebody hears reggae music, they want to make it too. They want to, you know, be involved in that world too. So that's a great thing. Yeah. To me, that kind of cultural sharing across different parts of the world. That's a beautiful thing.
I hear that.
But I don't know, personally, when I hear a lot of I don't want to sound bad or anything, but when you know, I don't actually find myself listening a lot to that subgenre of reggae. Yeah. Because it just doesn't feel as you know, to me, the Jamaican reggae is just the realest thing. That's what I grew up with. That's what I'm most comfortable with. Yeah. So it's that's just where I gravitate towards more.
I hear that. Definitely. And you know what? I agree with you. I mean, there's nothing like the real thing, yeah?
There's nothing like it.
And you know, as you know already, Jamaica has influenced the world for everything. From clothes, culturally, even how people speak now, across everywhere. And I mean, there's even been talks about Jamaica in particular should be kind of in charge of reggae dancehall, because that's where it was founded. And what do you think about that?
I agree with that. I would love if, you know, Jamaicans and Jamaica and, you know, Jamaican organizations were way more involved in reggae around the world. Yeah. Because I think sometimes that source can get lost, even though, of course, I mentioned the sharing of the music and the cultural sharing. That's a great thing. Yeah. But sometimes, the source can get lost, and people don't get the necessary credits that They should, I believe. So I think that would be good. And I mean, that would be more cultural sharing, right? That would be more integration. So like, I think that would be a great thing.
Yeah, I hear that. And for me as well, I think that you'd learn the right, not necessarily the right way, I don't know if that's the right word, but you'd learn the authenticity of it from Jamaica.
Yeah.
You know, because
definitely.
Sometimes it sounds a bit wishy-washy sometimes.
Yeah, because I know what you mean, because it's missing that, like, I don't know what to call it, that cultural context, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, even though a lot of the music is similar, and of course there's some incredible musicians around the world playing reggae music, but sometimes it's missing that cultural flavor to it, that if, you know, more Jamaicans are involved in that, I think that would come through a little bit more. So
100.
yeah, that's
Definitely.
just a thought.
So we have a question from a listener. They're asking, what would you like to see in the music industry as a whole? Not necessarily reggae or dance or anything like that, but as a whole, what would you like to see more of?
In the music industry as a whole,
Yeah.
That's a good question. I would like to see more power to independent musicians.
Okay.
I'd like to see, you know, kind of lowering the barrier to entry for a lot of, you know, people who want to do music, and it's their dream, but they just don't know how to tap into that industry, you know, because a lot of, I mean, it's much better these days, but still, you know, the major labels have a lot of power, and people still believe that they need to have a major label backing in order to like get to a certain level. So yeah, it's definitely changing a lot these days with, you know, the online distributors and a lot of things you can do in your bedroom, right?
Yeah.
But still, especially like with the marketing side of things, or the music business side of things, I would still like to see a lot of that part of it more democratized to people who kind of, that's their dream, but they don't have the resources, kind of thing.
Yeah, I hear that. And I think as well, there's a lot of gatekeepers in the music industry. So obviously, if you know someone, then you might be able to keep going forward. But if you don't know anyone, like you said, it's a hard road. Hard road.
Right, exactly.
And of course, when it comes to, this might sound a bit strange now, this question, but do you ever think there's too much music?
No.
Okay.
I don't. And you know, that's a relevant question these days, especially with AI and a lot of these things. And now, like, you know, I get a lot of questions about AI music, and if I think that, you know, there's just going to be too much noise, you're not going to be able to tell which is real and which is not, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's a similar question. But I don't think there's too much music. I mean, I think anybody that wants to make music should make music.
Yeah.
Anybody that feels that that within them that needs to come out, that should be done. And good music will always find its way to the right people.
Yeah.
I said that with a grain of salt, but I think music is really about expression, and everybody should be able to express themselves through music. So I would never say there's too much music, and I feel like even with the AI stuff, the human-made music will always have that element to it that like other humans can recognize, you know, and tell apart. Like, you know, live music as well. Like seeing somebody play the music with expression, with feeling. That's something that's very hard to replicate. So that's my thoughts on it.
I hear that. The reason why I asked you that question was because sometimes the quality is not necessarily there. So you have so many artists that will put out several tracks, and, you know, maybe the track will be a hot hit, you know, but not necessarily a great hit, if that makes sense. And, you know, if you listen to somebody like Bob and the Foundation artists, they always had that quality. You know, if you put it on wax or whatever it may be, they had that quality because they had to make sure that it sounded good on that particular vinyl, you know. And sometimes I do think that the quality is not quite there, and that's why I ask, are we just going a bit mad and making a whole heap of music?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. One thing I'll say is, like, I know that, like, I'm not going to necessarily resonate with every type of music, right?
Yeah.
Every artist. But I would never say they shouldn't make music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just like, yeah, like, you know, if you want to make your music, make your music. Hopefully, the more you make it, the better you get, the quality will increase. But even you know, for the people who are just messing around, like, you know, oftentimes they will have their audience, and that's good. Like, they have their audience, and that works for them. And it might not necessarily be the music for me to like gravitate to, but that's all right too.
I hear that. So, have you noticed yourself improving from where you was, I don't know, when you first started to this time? Have you seen that for yourself, your own personal journey?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, like I mean, when I started, it was just, you know, it's a laptop, kind of like trying to, you know, record sounds to the laptop. And yeah, you know, over the years, I've gotten much better at the you know, producing side of things, the production, and the performing side of things, kind of engaging the audience and all of that.
Yeah.
And it's always a journey. I'm trying to learn more, get better at, you know, the mastery of music itself, get better at playing instruments, get better at composition, get better at writing.
Yeah. And
I've definitely progressed over the years, but it's a journey. It's a journey, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm happy with where I've come so far.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see, you know, where I'll go next.
I hear that, definitely. So what is next for you? Because you've done a lot so far. I've checked all your catalog out. So what is next?
I'll be dropping singles this year. Next year I'll working on an album for next year. But for this year, it's going to be a few more singles. The next single is called Journey. It's going to be out on June 16th.
Okay.
So definitely look out for that one. I'm excited for that one. And yeah, I mean, for me, it's going to be more performing, getting better at instruments, and yeah, just really bigger and better performances. That's what I'm kind of focused on right now. And my goal is to do more collaborations as well. So I haven't done that many collaborations, but I'm working on a few right now. So can definitely look out for more collaborations between me and other artists and producers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, the singles, including Journey, coming out on the 16th of June.
I hear that. I mean, when I first heard your voice, I did think, it'd be really cool for you to link up with Kabaka P. That would be a vibe.
Okay. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, it'd be rude of me not to ask you, would you be up for doing something a little live right now? Would you be up for that?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
So, when you're ready, let the listeners hear you.
Sure. All right. Yeah, this song is a song called Sunday. It goes, tell me where you want to go. We leave on Sunday. Yeah, I take you with me on the road. Oh, we can seize the moment. Yeah, I'm toppling the dominoes. The wheels keep turning. Yeah, tell me if you want it for the long run. Better yet, just show me. Yeah, that's a little snippet.
Nice. You're getting lots of fire. You can't see it, but you're getting a whole heap of fire coming through.
Respect.
I love that.
Everybody.
So, you know, before we go, how can people find you? How can they support you? And of course, if they wanted to book you, how can that happen?
Yeah, definitely. So, Zale himself on Instagram and all social media. So that's ZALEHIMSELF. Zale himself. That's my handle on all of the social media platforms. Definitely check me out there. And yeah, you can DM me. I check my DMs, and that's where I'm active. Mostly on Instagram I'm active, but all of them as well. So yeah, man, definitely reach out to me. I'm friendly. I'm happy to, look at these messages, respond to the messages, and connect with people. So Zale himself.
Cool. I love that. I love that. And of course, any final words final thoughts you want to say to the listeners out there?
Well, my message is to every listener out there is follow your dreams.
Yeah.
Like that's really what life is about. A life well lived is a life lived. So live life.
Yeah.
Follow your dreams, love, and that's it.
I hear that. Make sure you add that to your next tune, yeah?
Yeah, man.
I love that. I love that. You know what, Zale? I hope that your journey keeps on succeeding, and you definitely have my blessing. I'm loving the vibe and the energy that you're coming with. It's a nice one for real. So any support you need, just let me know, and I'll happily do that.
Respect, DJ Kat. I really
Anytime.
appreciate you. Thank you for having me on.
Always
Love the
welcome.
energy.
Always welcome. Have a blessed rest of the day, yeah?
Yeah, man. You too. Bless
All
you.
right. Bless up. Bless.
Take care.
Yes, people, that was a pure vibe, pure energy with Zale. Make sure you go and check him out. Go and show him some love and support each and every time you're locked into the Big Bad Station with yours truly, DJ Kat, the Kat-a-lyst, right here on arrowrackradio.com.